or afternoon. My name is Jeff Ojeda. I am the Education Specialist overseeing the Partnerships for Student Success Grant at the Utah State Board of Education, and I welcome you to this bidders meeting or presentation. The Partnerships for Student Success Grant has very specific requirements under Senate Bill 67, which came out of the Utah legislature in 2016. It was created by Senator Ann Milner and Representative Rebecca Edwards, and it now serves as Board Rule R277-924, the Partnerships for Student Success Grant Program. Its purpose is to improve educational outcomes for low-income students through the formation of cross-sector partnerships that use data to align and improve efforts focused on student success. There are specific eligible partnerships, and a partnership must include a local education agency that has designated an eligible school feeder pattern, a local nonprofit organization, a private business, a municipality or county in which the eligible school feeder pattern is located, an institution of higher education within the state, a state or local government agency that provides services to students attending schools within the eligible feeder pattern, a local philanthropic organization, a local healthcare organization, and/or a designated local education agency or local nonprofit organization to act as the lead applicant. An eligible school feeder pattern means the succession of schools that a student enrolls in as the student progresses from kindergarten through grade 12. That includes, as designated by the local education agency, a high school, an eligible junior high or middle school that is a district school within the geographic boundaries of the high school, or is a charter school that sends 50% of the charter school students to the high school. An eligible elementary school that is a district school within the geographic boundary of the high school, or is a charter school that sends at least 50% of the charter school students to the junior high school. Each of those is a requirement for the grant. Partnerships establish shared goals, outcomes, and measurement practices based on unique community needs. For students attending a school within an eligible school feeder pattern, partnerships must address kindergarten readiness, reading proficiency, consistent with science of reading, grade 3 mathematics, grade 8 mathematics, high school graduation, post-secondary education attainment, physical and mental health, and the development and career skills and readiness. Partnerships also coordinate and align services for students attending schools within an eligible school feeder pattern and the families and communities of the students within an eligible school feeder pattern. Partnerships also must implement a system for sharing data to monitor and evaluate shared goals and outcomes in accordance with state and federal law, and accountability for shared goals and outcomes. Partnerships commit to providing matching funds equal to 2 times the amount of the grant. At least half of the matching funds provided must come from a local education agency, and matching funds may include cash or in-kind donations. There are some very specific competitive priorities, and USBE shall prioritize funding for an eligible partnership that meets the criteria below. That is, they will get additional extra points if it includes a low-performing school as determined by the USBE, and that addresses parent and community engagement specifically. We encourage you to include both of those in your applications. The grant application, a partnership must complete and submit all required USBE application documents in Utah grants. Grant budget information must be completed in the Utah Grants Management System. The total amount of points for the application is 100 points. A partnership that receives a grant under this part shall select and contract with a technical assistance provider identified by the board, continually assess progress towards reaching shared goals and outcomes, publish results of the continual assessment on an annual basis, report to the Utah State Board as requested, and also as requested, share information and data with the program evaluator in accordance with state and federal law. The goal of this grant is collective impact, and that is the bringing of people together from different organizations in a structured way to achieve social change. And in order to do that, we expect a common agenda for all participants, shared measurement for continuous improvement, mutually reinforcing activities for students and participating schools, continuous communication and progress, and a strong backbone organization that can support that type of communication. The Utah State Board of Education has selected 2 technical assistance providers, UEPC and UAN, with whom partnerships may work with to establish shared goals, outcomes, and measurement practices, to create the capabilities to achieve shared goals and outcomes that may include providing leadership development training to members of the partnership, use data to align and improve efforts focused on student success. There are certain allowable and non-allowable expenses, and a partnership that receives a grant may use grant funds only for the following purposes: to contract with a technical assistance provider identified by the board, as mentioned previously, to plan or implement a partnership, including project management, planning and adaptation of services and strategies, coordination of services, establishment and implementation of shared measurement practices, production of communication materials and outreach activities to build public support, establishment of data privacy and sharing agreements in accordance with state and federal law, the purchase of infrastructure, hardware, and software to collect and store data, and analyzing that data. If for some reason funding is being used inappropriately, the board shall establish interventions for a partnership that fails to comply with the requirements of the grant and that is not making progress towards reaching the shared goals and outcomes established by the partnership in the approved application. These interventions may include reduction or discontinuation of grant funds. And we do have an evaluator here at the state office, and our evaluator for the Partnerships for Student Success Grant Program is Emily Berry. Her contact information will be at the end of this presentation as well. During the time of the grant, all partnerships must comply with Utah Code 53F-5-405, that is Partnerships for Student Success Grant Program. The program measures are 3rd grade reading, 8th grade math, and high school graduation. Target outcomes include kindergarten readiness, grade 3 mathematics, grade 3 reading proficiency, grade 8 mathematics, grade 8 reading proficiency, high school graduation, post-secondary education attainment, physical and mental health, and career readiness skills. Participants will also provide a grant-wide evaluation, which reports on requirements listed in the code, the partnership's program measures, and grant target outcomes, as we've just discussed. And you can see here the portions of the section code that requires those specific reports. When it comes to evaluation requirement goals, partnerships must establish clear goals and targets through logic models that identify grant program measures and target outcomes. They must ensure partnerships meet regularly, communicate authentically, and share data. Create partnerships that implement initiative monitoring, self-evaluation, and self-ratings. Increase USBE feedback to partnerships, and increase student outcomes. Partnerships must create a grant cycle logic model that incorporates all the grants, program measures, and target outcomes while identifying partnerships and implementation initiatives, clear goals with outcome targets, and they must identify monitoring and outcome data. Partnerships must complete the mid-year report. It's an annual report due December through January, and complete the end-of-year report at the end of the academic school year. This includes completing the evaluation worksheet, and partnerships perform self-evaluations and ratings to measure progress. Partners complete partnership survey. It is annual and is given in late spring. USBE reviews end-of-year report and provides feedback to the partnership annually. Grant partnership meetings to review evaluation worksheets and provide opportunities for grant highlights, areas of improvement, and collaboration. And generally that happens twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. In terms of our timeline for the grant itself, this online bidders conference is being recorded on the 17th of March, 2026, and ideally it will be posted later today, if not tomorrow. The required letter of intent, if you are going to be applying for the grant, is due to me, Jeff Ojeda, on 25th of March. And the grant application will open and be available online on the 19th of March, 2026. Application documents are due in Utah grants no later than April 22nd of 2026. The grant period, the grant review period is set for April 27th through May 15th, and award notifications will be sent out on the week of May 25th, 2026. If you have any questions, my name again is Jeff Ojeda, and you see my email address and phone number there. And our program evaluator is Emily Berry, with her phone number and email there. Please don't hesitate to contact us. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing your applications. Thanks again for going through this bidders workshop or online workshop, and we look forward to working with you. Have a great day.